Now, last night I asked Peter Dutton, the Liberal leader, how is he going to perform in this new parliament? Is he going to be aggressive, or is he going to try to avoid conflict, which seems the modern Liberal way? Well, that question was sure answered today. Dutton went for Albanese's throat on the government's very fishy decision to neuter the government watchdog that is trying to enforce the law against Australia's most lawless union, the CFMEU building union.
I refer to the triple CFMEU, the corrupt and criminal construction union, and a significant donor and a very successful donor to the Prime Minister's party. Prime Minister, the CFMEU donated $5 million to the Labor Party in the last 3 years and advocates for a policy which will drive up housing and building prices. The Labor Party has sided with union bosses over home buyers, which will drive up construction costs. Why is Labor making a bad situation worse?
And Albanese struggled to give a good reason why he was going soft in this rogue union that's donated millions to his party.
We come with a very simple principle, which is that why should one worker in one sector be treated differently from workers in another sector?
Well, Prime Minister, the reason for that special attention on the CFMEU is precisely because this giant union dominating our critical construction industry is exactly what I said. The country's most lawless union, racking up the most fines of any union over the past quarter of a century and damned by judge after judge. Now, Dutton kept up the pressure today with a question that again rattled Albanese.
Officials from the CFMEU have been charged with thousands of offences. Has the Prime Minister met with any of the many union bosses from the CFMEU accused of criminal behaviour, including sexual assault, harassment and rape?
If the member opposite has an allegation or wants to know if someone I've met with, he should say it.
Now, I should add that the Liberals did not name any such official who met Albanese, well, yet, and soon Dutton was needling Albanese. He wasn't happy at all.
He's choosing to belittle the question that was put instead of playing games and getting frustrated.
Joining me is Sky News Political Editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew Clennell, thank you for your time. What did this first question time of the new government tell you about the battles to come in the next 3 years?
Well, Dutton's going to go hard, isn't he? But I think he needs to produce more evidence if he's going to go hard like that. I mean, so much for a new tone for the new parliament. It rocked Albanese initially, but that's probably a one-day wonder. He'll be ready for it tomorrow. But that took some wind out of the government's sails. They should have been triumphant. They should have been all over the opposition today. It wasn't the case. But it just had that mystery around it. Does he know some sort of meeting here with CFMEU officials? I'm getting a bit of nudge, nudge, wink, wink on it, but no evidence of anything. So, and Albanese's the guy who got rid of John Setka as well. So I just think he didn't quite hit the mark, Peter Dutton.
Look, I take your point completely. The Liberals did never name any CFMEU criminal who met Albanese, and maybe there is none there. It did name another official it said is being investigated. He says is innocent. And Albanese says has never heard of him. Have a listen to this.
The watchdog is currently pursuing CFMEU official Gerard McCrudden for allegedly pushing, shoving and verbally abusing a female health and safety manager. Does the Prime Minister seriously believe that pursuing this vile behaviour is a waste of taxpayers' money? And why is Labor making a bad situation worse?
The point of the question was that I wouldn't regard that behaviour. That is precisely what I was asked. Precisely what I was asked. And my answer was where someone commits a crime, they should be charged with a crime of assault if they commit assault.
OK, a lot of mud, but no proof. But two things, Andrew. One is it does raise what seems to me a dirty deal to get the watchdog off the back of the most corrupt union we have, and one that's a huge Labor supporter, donor. And it did also tend to knock Albanese off his game.
Look, I think that's all true. Perhaps it was an overstretch, though. That's all I'm saying. If you haven't got the evidence of the meeting with some sort of criminal or whatever, that was the imputation. And he could have pulled that element of it back. But aside from that, yes. But it's not a mainstream issue for most Australians. So you've got to balance that. And first question times kind of matter. So I look forward to Dutton diversifying a bit. He won't be able to go attack dog all the time. And as for Albanese, you saw a bit more strong language from him there. He needs to be doing that. He needs to fire up his troops. There wasn't as much noise on the Labor side as you would expect given their victory, Andrew.
Pauline Hanson today stormed out of yet another ceremony in the Senate to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land they were meeting on. It was the fourth such ceremony in the Senate in about 24 hours. Is the politics of symbolism really getting a little too much? I mean, where is the government's focus on the economy?
Well, I think it's there. The Treasurer held a press conference on inflation. He's giving an economic statement tomorrow, but there's no doubt they're seeking to wedge the Liberal Party on climate change. They believe they can hurt them in terms of the Teal seat losses and one part of their constituency. I think there is, to be fair, Andrew, a fair degree of focus by the government on the economy. They're looking to do budget in October. Katie Gallagher and Jim Chalmers are concentrating fiercely on that. In terms of what Hanson did, well, I just find it a bit puzzling because I asked around today and apparently this happens all the time, this acknowledgement of country. So if it was a new thing, I could see her trying to make a stand, but it looked like a bit of a stunt to me, to be honest.
Andrew Clennell, thank you so much indeed for your time. Interesting times in Parliament.
Thanks. Good to talk to you again, Andrew.